crazy God story. One of the most impactful encounters I've ever had with God happened in Kenya in June of 2012. But in order for it to make sense, I've got to give you a little backstory. I grew up in what I call schizophrenic Christianity. I call it that because it was flat out crazy. We'd go through these swings where sometimes we were super hyper religious and other times we were not religious at all. All of the adults in my life that claimed to be Christians, they were all frauds. From the time I was a kid, I always wanted God in my life, but nobody ever showed me what it looked like to be an authentic follower of Jesus. I learned how to go to church when it was convenient, how to speak Christianese, how to look really, really Christian to other Christians and to non-Christians. I learned how to kind of go through the motions and do Christianity on my own terms, but I never learned how to do it on God's terms. And then in December of 2008, I gave my life to Jesus. I completely surrendered to God. He radically changed me, and the Holy Spirit started showing me what it looked like to follow Jesus. I became completely sold out. I was completely changed. I was a totally different person. God led me to start a nonprofit mechanic company where my full-time job was fixing cars for broke people for free, and I had no support or income or anything. He just continually, miraculously, God took care of me and my family. I was following Jesus, and I was seeing God at work in my life and through my life on a regular basis. And so I was having a really amazing time with God. I was addicted to God, but something made me really, really sad. I kept hearing Christians say, I wish I knew God's plan for my life. I wish I knew God's will for my life. And one of the things that I started to realize is that Christians all around me weren't being discipled. You see, Jesus gave us this task. It's to make disciples. It's where we, as mature believers, take less mature believers and teach them to follow Jesus in the same way that we're following Jesus. And when discipleship isn't happening, you end up with exactly what the first 30 years of my life was, what my entire childhood was. You end up with Christians who go to church a couple of times a week and they don't look like Jesus the rest of the week, and they struggle to figure out how to make the whole following Jesus thing work because nobody is showing them how to do it. So back to Kenya 2012. I'm on this mission trip. One morning I got up, I was reading in the book of Luke where Jesus tells Peter, when you return to me, strengthen your brethren. And as soon as I read that, the Holy Spirit said, that's what I want you to do. I want you to strengthen other believers by discipling them, by doing for them what nobody ever did for you. And so now I am passionate about discipleship. That's why I'm on TikTok. That's why I go out and do evangelism and make videos about it, because I want to teach other believers to follow Jesus in the same way that I follow Jesus. I'm not always great at it and I screw up a lot, but I'm trying to be obedient to what God has called me to do. And He's been with me every step of the way.